Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newest content for Stars of Akarios. So we're going to start with the update pack. This is going to bring all copies of the game if you purchased them in retail or the first Kickstarter. It's going to bring them up to 1.5. If you received your full copy of the game, the core game, just now, that should already be up to 1.5 and you shouldn't need one of these update packs. But yeah, and then we're also going to take a look at Drones of Akarios and Battles of Akarios. And if anybody is interested, I picked up in this version the miniatures expansion. So we'll take a look at those at the end, but that's kind of old content. What we have down here is the neoprene mat, which I also picked up as part of this second printing, just because it's a really nice, production. I really like this one. It's the same as the board. This is the back side of the board, but just really pretty and lays out nice. So anyways, this sheet was separate from everything else. It was not inside this update pack. I don't know if they just missed it and they had to throw it separately with everybody else, but this appears to be some scenario errata, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole new scenario book in here. So I'm wondering if this is errata that they this is like 2.0 errata that they found. But we're just going to set that off to the side for now, and let's take a look at what's in this update pack. All right, so we have another set of stickers. All right, we've got Sparrow board, player board. Now this is interesting because there's only one of these, and I thought this is what was already on the player board. And Kenosis here. So some errata stickers there. All right, fine. We've got some reference guides. Looks like, yeah, quick reference guides. So these are good. I was checking out the updated rulebook. The back of the rulebook has this, it looks like, but these are nice to have. So there we go. Quality of life stuff. And then a whole bunch of cards. So, this appears to almost be a complete new set of cards. So I actually purchased Stars of Akarios retail. Found it on sale after watching plenty of content after the first Kickstarter delivered. Decided this looked like a really cool game. But knowing that the 1.5 update pack was coming out, I actually have not opened it. I opened it and have been like slowly painting the miniatures, but I didn't like break into any of the cards. So what we're going to do here is slide this over, and this is actually the tray that comes in the base game, the retail game of version 1. So we can check to see if there is in fact a full replacement of all the cards. Now there's something important to consider is that that's enemy combat. Start here, Puhula. Start here, Jutsu. Okay, so these are planets, and it appears to be, yes, those three are here. It appears to be, flipping all these over so I can read them here. We've got a big old stack of enemy combat cards here. So T'Chuk, that's that. All right, that one's in there. Let's see what this one is. I don't know what this one's replacing. We'll set that one off to the side. Synthetic, somewhere. Ronin Scout. Okay, so that's replacing that one. So far, we're basically just replacing every single card in the game. Some tech. Here's a tech upgrade. I don't want to mix them up because I don't want to forget which one is which. Here is a co-pilot. Trauma actually is going to be in the Sparrow board, but I know that one's there. And we have pilot abilities, Starla, ship abilities. It's probably in here somewhere. Yeah, ship abilities, Kenosis. Modifier, the Sparrow. So yeah, this appears to be looks like it's engine upgrades. This is probably weapon upgrades. Yeah. So we're looking at a completely whole new set of cards in this update pack. So before I start getting things mixed up, I'm going to go ahead and pop this back on here. It's a very nice card tray that comes in the base box. And I'm going to set these aside just so I don't get them mixed up, because there's some stuff underneath here. But basically you're getting a new, not like a card here or there that you have to find in and mix in. They're giving you basically just reprinted everything, and maybe that was, they determined it was easier. We have some new booklets here, which are a little glued together, but that's fine, yeah. So each character has a booklet: Starla, Enver, yeah, Violet Ray. So these are the pilot characters. So new ones of those. Here's the updated rulebook. Now, I had the old one out, but I don't remember what happened. What did I do with it? But right off the bat, I can tell you this one is nicer quality. It's thicker, feels thicker. There's one picture. There's a lot of text in the first one. I don't know what all has changed. The core mechanics of the game necessarily haven't changed. There's another picture. There was like basically no pictures in the original one. Like, this is obviously different here because one of the things we're going to see here is this Galaxy Atlas that completely takes cards. Previously, the Galaxy exploration was done by cards, and now we have this little spiral bound book, which is fine. So previously you were just laying out cards and they were exploring through here. Now it is, you're drawing event cards, you're rolling dice on these. They have some waypoints that you can hit, but there's also going to be this sticker sheet here. So these are going to be added to your Galaxy Atlas throughout the narrative of the campaign. But from what I am to understand, the card laying out of cards is kind of fiddly. Now, you're still doing a laying out of cards for the world exploration. So if you land on a planet, it's very much Seventh Continent. It has a very much Seventh Continent feel to it. The whole flipping over modifier cards has a very much Gloomhaven feel to it. So this game incorporates a lot of what some people really love about other games. But that's the update pack. The biggest thing being the cards, Galaxy Atlas, whole new rule book, and whole new scenario book. So let's get this stuff back in here, and I'll just do a full swap out here sometime later off camera. And I don't even know what we're going to do with the other cards. Seems like a waste, but maybe I probably won't throw them away. Anyways, that is the update pack. All right, now let's get on to some of the more fun stuff here. All right, so up first we have Drones of Akarios. This is brand new content. So if you backed just the original Stars of Akarios and are only looking for the update pack, we saw that. Or maybe you just didn't go after the expansions. This is considered an expansion for Stars of Akarios. It introduces these drones, and it also says on the back that it has its own separate storyline, which is cool, like a little mini storyline. So here are the drones. Now there's going to be, I believe there's miniatures in here for them. Maybe not. Maybe these are just the drones, so maybe there's not miniatures for the drones. But what these are going to do is they're giving you, additional actions and things like that, but they're also going to cover up a portion of your player board. So you can see here, this one has to cover up one of your attack spots and one of your tech spots. This one, however, only takes up your 2 tech spots. So upgrade requirement, tech upgrade, weapon upgrade, tech upgrade. but it's almost like having a pet, you know, in the standard fantasy genre. This is like the sci-fi version of having a pet. So that's the main aspect of this. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, so there is a scenario book separate just for this. Doesn't look like there's too much involved. Looks like maybe 2 space battles and some narrative text. We have a rule book, new rule book here, not too bad. Drones of Akarios, an overview, drone overview, and then looks like it just goes over each drone, yeah, individually. So almost just more like a reference manual. And then we should have some, so these are going to be world cards. The Peanut Asteroid, interesting choice of names. Some additional tech that fits in there. Some new dice, that's cool. So we have this new symbol here. There's also a blank on these. We have some more cards. We have, and then sheets for Jati and Cholre. So these are double-sided here. And here's our 2 new aliens, it looks like. But I believe these are pilots. So no new ships. Just the drones that are kind of like attachments for your ships. And then 2 new pilots. So that's Drones of Akarios. Did these go right there? Did they just get slid around? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we're going to stick them right there. All right. Let's put these on, and then we'll put the other stuff on. So there we go. That's Drones of Akarios. And up next is Battles of Akarios. So Battles of Akarios, I feel like, is not going to look like much, but is a very important expansion for Stars of Akarios. That's because it's turning a campaign game into allowing you to play one-off scenarios. So, you know, me personally, I have a gaming group. We meet usually once a week, but they don't always want to play a campaign game and play the same game over and over again. There's a lot of variety in the games we play. So the campaign for Stars of Akarios is probably going to be, you know, for me to play through. But I think this would be a great game for them to experience. And so this is going to give us the ability to play one-off scenarios. So I'm going to set that off to the side. We've got even more unique dice. We've got some dials. And that's really about it. So not anything groundbreaking in this box here. The dials also don't look, could have used a little bit of color, but let's take a look at this battle book here. Oh, look at that. Pre-printed stuff here. So yeah, I wonder if you could create these on like the board or the neoprene mat. Maybe, maybe not, because it's much tighter. So the question is, are these cooperative or competitive? Battles of Akarios expansion provides players with the ability to jump into a single session of space combat that is not connected to the campaign. The battle book provides a new streamlined setup, and players are introduced to a new dynamic market system that allows ships to be upgraded through a battle. In addition to this, players and enemies now roll a modifier die to determine the outcome of their attack instead of using a modifier deck. Okay, so we each get a modifier die. There's one enemy modifier, a supplies dial, and a market setup. So there we go. Appears that it is still going to be cooperative, so you're still going to be fighting the enemy. And here you can see, here's your starting position. What is the player count on this? I wonder. Must be 4, because there's only four dice. But so yeah, I think this is going to be fun to bust this out with the group to say, hey, I really want y'all to check out this game. you don't have to worry about getting into a whole campaign. Let's just play 1 or 2 scenarios. So yeah, this was a very simple expansion, but I feel like could be a good one to pick up. So, all right, there we go. And there's several, 21 different scenarios here, one-off scenarios for you to experience. All right, so that does it for all of the new content. If, however, you are interested in checking out the ships, the miniatures, we're going to open those up next because I also picked those up. Because I felt like this was one of those games that standees just wasn't quite going to cut it. All right, so the core game comes with miniatures for the players, ships, and for the pilots, and any other ships that you may upgrade. But then the enemy ships are standees. These, however, are giving us the ability to have all 3D stuff on the board. So this is like the main bad guy here. This is the Ronin Scout troop. And we're going to have some fun coloring these. Another thing that I felt like was better with the miniatures is the fact that facing does matter in this game. And with the standees, it was kind of like, you know, the standees, I guess the flat portion was facing forward, but now you have a very obvious, this is facing forward instead of a little tiny triangle, plus the miniature is going to be facing that way. So not sure about this kind of hodgepodge of stuff here, whether I'm ever going to be able to get that back in there. But yeah, some of these are pretty cool. Like this big bad boy that doesn't even need a base. He just kind of weeble wobbles right in his spot. What else we got here? This big mothership looking thing. He's going to need like an extra beefy base maybe. These look like Ronin motherships or something. Some of these look very alienish, and others, this looks like a gun, like I could go pew pew. But there we go. There are the ship miniatures. So probably slowly paint through these, painting them as scenarios suggest or are looking for them. Let's come back to these real quick. I wanted to take a look at this guy. He looks like a whale, space whale or something. Very organic. This guy's weird too. I don't even know what to think about that. These are little tiny guys here. So yeah, a lot of repeats, but I mean, you buy a Zombicide game and you've got 40 zombie miniatures that all look the same. So yeah, these look good. Nice hard plastic. Well, it should be fun to paint. I actually have never not painted that many ships. I was realizing that when I was painting the kind of base models, that I really am used to painting more organic stuff, people, creatures, humans, but not ships or vehicles. Not so many of those in my repertoire. Anyways, that's going to do it for our new content for Stars of Akarios. We are going to be getting this one to the table, and we'll probably show off one of the Battles of Akarios scenarios. That way we don't spoil any of the narrative for you. If you are interested in any other aspect of the game, let me know in the comment section below, and we can probably make that happen. In the meantime, I'm going to be swapping out my cards, packing this away. If I feel like a reboxing video is necessary, we'll put one of those up. Otherwise, let me know if you're interested in anything. If you've gotten this far, once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.